play out the half and then substitute to start the second half. You didn't wait. You substituted in the second quarter. Why?
Yeah, absolutely. And our guys, we said we wanted to go up. Our goal was to score 6 touchdowns in the first half, and we scored 6 touchdowns in the first 14 minutes of the game. And so, just seeing how that game was going and understanding that, our guys did what they had to do. I think that there was some time in that game that I could see our effort dipping a little bit. I look at Tymir's second run where he gets tackled at the 3-yard line, and we had a conversation with our wide receivers after that play that, our guys aren't blocking downfield. They're just watching Ty run. And so I had to get into those guys a little bit, but understanding that in games like that, when you take plays off, that's when injuries and bad things can occur. So we felt that our guys did what they had to do. Coming off a really physical game the week before, a physical week, we were still banged up, and so we wanted to get our guys out, and our young guys have earned that right. We were talking before the show, Jim, about the fact that we don't have a JV team this year with the 35 guys that we have rostered, and so our guys who are playing on the scout team consistently and giving our guys a really good look, and they don't get to see the field on Fridays, well, what a better opportunity for them than, to have that lead and then let those guys go in and get some very valuable experience against a varsity team. And although the Nanny Cook was 0-6, they kept their starters in the entire game, and our guys battled. So it was really good for them. I mean, they scored a couple times on us late. It was tough for us to get some things going on offense, and so it was a good wake-up call for our young guys that they have to continue to work just as hard. But it was really nice to see those guys get on the field.
We've seen your offensive lineman, Matt Gordner, from time to time line up in the backfield as a blocker. But in this game, you got down near the goal line the first half. You gave him 2 carries, the second one into the end zone for a lineman's dream, a touchdown. Was that a spur of the moment, or did you plan on that going in?
We said to Matt, if we get close this week, we're going to give you a carry and see if you can get in. Similar last year, Chase Chuckers got one. So, our offensive line is so awesome, and they once again, they love running the football. They love seeing our backs be successful. So, if we have an opportunity, it's always nice to see these guys get in the end zone. And we said, Matt, you got one shot here. He said, Coach, can we get it a little bit closer? I said, no, man, you can get this touchdown. And so he blamed the first one on Gabe Decker because he got beat. But what a cut by Matt on his second cut. We gave him a handoff to the left. He stuck it, followed the wall to the right, and he goes in. He had the ball over his head. That's the only time I probably wouldn't have been that upset about a 15-yarder. I thought he was going to spike it when he got in there, but he didn't. So good for Matt. But it was just so awesome to see how our guys reacted to that and to see everybody go over, and they're hugging him and they're loving him. And the only thing now is that J.J. Leonard's on my case about getting one as well. So hopefully we get in that position again.
Well, the Bulldogs' defense remained stout last Friday. Up next, CJ will tell us about that effort. You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Goat Rocks, PA.
We've all been there, faced with a physical setback. Whether you've suffered a sports injury that takes you out of the game, or your aches and pains are keeping you from doing what you love, we all want the same thing, to get your life back. Thankfully, you can trust the region's only nationally ranked orthopedic team to help get you there. At Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, we turn setbacks into comebacks, one movement at a time. Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. Comebacks begin here.
Hey guys, this is Ray,
Chad, and Pat
from Blaze Alexander GMC of Greater Hazelton. It is October. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. What are we going to do?
We're going to sell all new in-stock inventory $1,000 under invoice.
That's the best news I've heard in a long time.
We're going to give a $100 donation to the Breast Cancer Awareness for every vehicle sold this month in October.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. So do your part. Remember, come to Blaze Alexander Greater Hazelton. We're not just a great car dealership. We go for great causes.
$100 donation for every vehicle sold.
$1,000 under invoice.
And don't forget, we have the lowest price guarantee.
Well, we'll give you $1,000.
Now, back to the CJ Curry Show on the Goat Rocks, PA.
Weekend number 8 of high school football's 10-week regular season kicks off tonight. For the Bulldogs, it's a matchup with the Millionaires of Williamsport here at Crispin Field. Bulldogs defense continued to play at a high level last Friday. All of Nanticoke's 16 points came in the fourth quarter, and all came against the backups. CJ, you had to be pleased that just like the offense, your team's defense did not let up against an inferior opponent.
Yeah, for sure. And I believe that, we held them to negative 22 rushing, or 22 rush yards in the first half, which was awesome to see. They were starting a freshman at quarterback, his first career start. So we just wanted to be sound on defense, and we got some guys in some roles there earlier. Like Brady Cleaver didn't play much corner for us Friday, and a senior who's worked his tail off, and Sawyer Keller gave us some great reps defensively, essentially initially starting as our corner and then playing some inside linebacker, which, he wrestles at, I believe, 150 or 145. And so to see him play an inside linebacker was awesome. And so our defense did a great job in just surrounding the football, being relentless. And our young guys did a pretty good job, too. It was one of those things that one of our backup linebackers, who's one of our better players and a great special teamer, a sophomore named Connor Roberts. Connor was out this past week with an injury. He'll thankfully be back this week, but not having him on that second team, both on offense and defense, he's an incredibly tough kid. So other guys had to step in, and we had some guys that weren't familiar with a lot of positions. Brett Eisenhower, one of our key backups, goes down with an injury. So guys had to come in and guys had to battle. And even on their 2 big pass plays, our guys were in really good position, and they just made great plays. And so our guys have seen that. They got that big game experience, and so I anticipate those guys getting better. But great job by our starters to make sure that we took care of business once again.
He gave Ty Wilkinson a break. He didn't start at safety. Shiloh Escobar did. Shiloh's a good player, good athlete. But when you went over film sessions, did he take any grief for the drop of a sure interception?
Oh, absolutely. And we said, Shy, man, you were looking for the end zone before you caught it. And that's what a lot of DBs do. But, Shy's one of the most sure-handed guys that we have on our team. So it was one of those things. His eyes got big and he saw the end zone before he even caught it. But to his credit, he came back later and picked one off, which is the first interception that our defensive backs have had all season, coming in week 7. So that was awesome to see. And Shy did a good job. We were counting on him to step up and be a leader and help in that secondary, and he did a really good job. And we're going to have to count on him, especially in a game like tonight, where we think that we're going to be able to run the football, hopefully against Williamsport. We'll get to them. But, if Ty's taking a lot of carries, Shy's got to be ready to play some strong safety and meaningful reps. And this is a dynamic pass offense that we're going to see tonight.
Last Friday, Jorge Retana, an exchange student from Spain, kicked off for you some. He also punted. How's he taking to American football?
He loves it, Jim, and it's so awesome to see. Actually, just this week we had a conversation, and I asked him, Jorge, what do you like about America so far? And he said, Coach, I fell in love with Crispin on Friday nights, and it was awesome. It gives me the chills just thinking about him say that. And so, he's never had an experience like this before. Our teammates absolutely love him. He's such a great kid, and he's getting the hole to kick it. I mean, the other day he was kicking extra points, and he banged like a 35-yarder, and it looked good. And so we were hoping to score in that second half too, so that he can get a shot to score a point. But he did a really good job on kickoffs. He did a good job on punts, and he's loving it, and we love having him here.
I was thinking about him when you had your first home game, and he's running out with the team, and they start with over-the-top fireworks. He's got to be thinking, these people are crazy.
Absolutely. But he loves it. And our guys have taken such a liking to him because for a guy that he played rugby in Spain. So, when we do, he works with us in defensive back drills. And when we do hitting drills, he gets after. You can see that he's a natural athlete and he loves getting after. He's learning the game slowly but surely, but he's the first one to volunteer for a scout team. He wants to get better. He wants to play, and our guys love him.
Last Friday had some significance. That win over Nanticoke clinched at least a share of the Wyoming Valley Conference Division II title. We get so wrapped up in the postseason of the district, sometimes we forget there's something to win before that. And you haven't won it since 2017. That's significant.
Yeah, for sure. Our guys have said since we started here in December and we made goals as a team, and we said we wanted the Wyoming Valley Conference Championship, the District 2 Championship, and the State Championship. And so we're trying to check goals off. But our guys know the job's not finished by any means. And so, although that you have a share of it, we want to win it outright. And although that Williamsport isn't in our division per se, it's important, especially when you look ahead to postseason rankings and where you're seated. This is a huge one to get, but we know in a couple of weeks we got to take care of business with the Tunkhannock Tigers up at their place to make sure that we have that thing just to ourselves.
Well, it is the Millionaires of Williamsport that are here at Crispin Field tonight. Later in the show, CJ will give us his scouting report on Williamsport. But up next, it's the Bulldog Spotlight feature. You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Goat Rocks, PA.
We've all been there, faced with a physical setback. Whether you've suffered a sports injury that takes you out of the game, or your aches and pains are keeping you from doing what you love, we all want the same thing, to get your life back. Thankfully, you can trust the region's only nationally ranked orthopedic team to help get you there. At Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, we turn setbacks into comebacks, one movement at a time. Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. Comebacks begin here.
Thanks to our loyal customers, Ken Pollock Ford is celebrating a decade of excellence. For 10 years, we've had the privilege of serving our community, and none of it would be possible without the trust of our amazing customers and the dedication of our incredible team. Sales, mobile service, Ford Commercial and Truck Superstore, we're honored to be your go-to dealership for all things Ford and more. Here's to 10 years of amazing memories and many more to come. Drive a little, save a lot. 1120 West Front Street, Berwick, or KenPollockFord.com.
Now, back to the CJ Curry Show on the Goat Rocks PA.
Crispin Field, home to Berwick football since 1929, is the venue for tonight's Week 8 matchup with the unbeaten Bulldogs taking on Williamsport. In our next segment, CJ will tell us about the Millionaires. But now it's time for our weekly feature, Bulldog Spotlight. Tonight, the spotlight is on Skylar Neville. A 6-foot, 185-pound senior, Skylar is a starter at defensive end. On offense, he sometimes sees action as a tight end. CJ, Gabe Decker is such a force at one defensive end that I think teams might be inclined to try to run away from him and go the other way, but Skylar has more than held his own at the opposite end, hasn't he?
Absolutely, and Skylar's a gamer, and it's awesome to see his growth from last season to this season. I coached Skylar in 7th and 8th grade. He's always been a valuable asset to both offense and defense. He's a sneaky, great athlete, but I think the biggest difference from last year to this year is his strength. And Skylar lived in the weight room. You can just see it when you look at him. You know, his arms are bigger, his legs are bigger, and he's gotten so much more confident from last year to this year. There were times last year that he really did get picked on, and teams were running at him and kicking him out and trying to reach him. And Skylar has come such a long way from the mental part of it too. He used to get really down on himself, and just to see his growth mentally, to just be, whatever happens, who cares, next play mentality. He's been a great leader for us. He was a captain against Hanover, but his big game, I think, was Wyoming area. And so, we knew that week before, there were some plays that he missed against Hanover, and we thought that the way that they like to run the football, they were going to pick on him, and he has 9 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and a couple huge plays. He's probably the best tackler on our team, and he's a mean and nasty player. He gets after it. So I'm really, really proud of how far he's come, and he's super helpful. I mean, he springs the block on Gavin Galusha's 41-yard run against Wyoming area. And then he came in last week and he played solid football against Nanticoke. So we're going to count on him again tonight. He's strong, but his assets are that he's super quick, he's a great pass rusher, and he's a very good tackler.
So he's a contributor on offense as well.
Absolutely. It's tough for us this year. We talk to our skill guys all the time, and I consider, our tight ends are really a true hybrid between an extra offensive lineman and skill guys, and we know who we are offensively. I think we've probably averaged 2 to 3 passes per game. Skylar can certainly help us in that. Last year against Hanover, Billy Hansen threw him 2 touchdowns in a row, and only one of them counted. One got called back. He always lets Matt Gordner know about that one that got called back as well. But he's done a really good job offensively, and like I said, he's a sneaky, great athlete. He's got great speed. He's got 4.7 speed, and he understands blocking schemes, and he just likes to get after. He's a very physical football player.
In the Bulldog Spotlight, senior Skylar Neville. Tonight, Skylar and the Bulldog teammates of his will play Williamsport here at Crispin Field. Up next, CJ will tell us about the Millionaires' offense. You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Goat Rocks, PA.
I love me some football.
I love me some football.
It's the CJ Curry Show on the Goat Rocks PA. Brought to you by
Mason's Monogramming, Overhead Door of Berwick, Mayo Funeral Home, State Farm, Sean Black and Lori Powell, First Keystone Bank, Red's Roofing, Neighbor Fence Company, Wolfie's Automotive, MD Accounting and Consulting, J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling of Berwick, Master Tech Automotive Services, Eco First Logistics, Ken Pollock, Flick Brothers Electric in Bloomsburg, Blaze Alexander GMC of Hazleton, Papa Lou's Place, The Compression Shop, Cardinal Estate Planning, Chapin Oil, Mark Nespoli of eXp Realty, and Janae Clarko, eXp Realty.
More with Jim Doyle and CJ Curry next on 102, 104, and 107 The Goat.
Planning for the future doesn't have to be complicated. Attorney Nick Lutz of Cardinal Estate Planning in Berwick will guide you every step of the way. Whether it's protecting your assets, setting up a trust, or ensuring your family is cared for, Cardinal Estate Planning provides personalized solutions for you and your family's needs. Call or sign up on their website to attend a free educational workshop that will give you an understanding of the process and peace of mind knowing your legacy is in good hands. Visit them online at cardinalastate.planning.com. Let them help you plan for tomorrow today.
What if I said chocolate? How about chocolate and wine?
Oh?
Maybe even, now hear me out, chocolate, wine, and cheese.
Oh.
The 2025 Chocolate and Wine Festival is Sunday, November 2nd at the Pine Barn Inn in Danville. If you know how to craft decadent chocolate goods, vibrant local wines, or luscious cheesy treats, we want you.
This is your official invitation to exhibit your creations at the 2025 Chocolate and Wine Fest. It's free to participate, and vendors can sell their own goods at the festival.
Space is limited, so contact us today to reserve your table.
Find more information at chocolateandwinefest.com. That's chocolateandwinefest.com.
The 2025 Chocolate and Wine Festival, Sunday, November 2nd at the Pine Barn Inn in Danville.
Benefits the Ronald McDonald House of Danville. Powered by Alexander Ford of Lewisburg.
Details at chocolateandwinefest.com.
Hey, hometown fans. You know Journey Bank as your trusted local bank. But did you know we're also the biggest cheerleader for our community's youth? From athletes competing under the Friday night lights, to students excelling in the classroom, to talented teen stars singing center stage, we're investing in the future of our young people. At Journey Bank, we're committed to helping our kids score big in every aspect of life. Journey Bank, where dreams are nurtured and futures are built. Journey Bank, proud supporter of our local youth.
Are your appliances feeling a little bit outdated? You're looking for the best deals in town? Well, look no further than Flick Brothers Electric, your go-to family-owned appliance paradise. Flick Brothers Electric has all the top-notch name-brand appliances you could ever dream of. Washers, dryers, refrigerators, dishwashers, microwave stoves. They even give free estimates on Fujitsu ductless air conditioner heat pump units. Flick Brothers Electric on Maple Lane, keeping Bloomsburg cool, clean, and cooking for over 65 years. Call them at 570-784-3444.
Now, back to the CJ Curry Show on the Goat Rocks PA.
Tonight, here at Crispin Field, the 39th meeting between Berwick and Williamsport. Berwick leads the series 28-10. The Dogs have won 4 straight, including 37-14 last season in the game in which Ty Wilkerson ran for a school record 366 yards. CJ, in that game last season, Williamsport coach Mike Pearson started a 9th grader at quarterback, first time ever. Tevin Williams had a decent game against your team. He had 200 yards passing, couple of touchdowns. Now he's a 6'3", 170-pound sophomore starting every game. How does he look to you this season?
Well, he's gotten better and better, and he's probably the best athlete all around that we've seen so far this season. I mean, we went against some pretty good ones, and Isaac Ryan and Luke Kopechny and guys like that, Jaden Skipalis. But when you look at Tevin Williams, I mean, he does it all. He's the engine that drives that offense. He's got an unbelievable arm. He's got a cannon for an arm. It's a Division I arm for sure. I mean, he gets the ball out there. He can throw it 60 yards. He's got very capable receivers who are speedsters, but he could really, really hurt you with his legs. And so we have to do a great job of keeping him in the pocket this week, because you look at, and there's plays that are dead, and he's dead to rights back there, and he finds a way to break tackles, to scramble. You look at their game against Jersey Shore, he threw for 340 yards and he ran for almost 100. And so he's certainly an explosive player, a dynamic player, and only a sophomore. His future is incredibly bright. I believe that he's a Division I prospect, and so we have our hands full tonight in trying to contain Tevin Williams.
And he has a terrific receiver in Trey Damschroeder. He's been around.
Yeah, absolutely. Trey's a great player. Trey hurt us last year a little bit. And so we know that they're probably going to use him a couple different ways. They're going to single him out on the backside of their trips. They're a very West Coast kind of team. They're very open. They'll run trips. They'll run double slot. They'll run empty stuff and switch him receivers at the line of scrimmage. And they'll put him in the slot and just try to get him the football. And so Trey's done a really good job for him this year. He goes up and makes contested catches. He's great in one-on-one situations. He's very athletic. He's agile. He's very fast. And so we have to have a good plan tonight, and I think that we do, to try to contain him as best as we can. But between those two and a starting offensive line that's all returning, they have a pretty explosive offense that we have to be ready for.
It's a young Williamsport team. They don't have many seniors, but one is their running back, Giovanni White, and he might be their most versatile player. Against Wyoming Valley West in their season opener, he had a 70-yard touchdown reception, an 84-yard punt return touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and by the way, he had the game-saving interception. So
Yeah,
he's good.
He's great, and he's one of their only two-way players that they have. I think they only have 2 or 3 two-way players that go both ways for them. But it seems like he takes a kick back every week. Last week against Shamokin, he took one back 74 yards. They think he stepped out of bounds, and they blew it dead, but it looked like he was in to me. And so we have to know where 12 is on the field, offensively and defensively at all times. It seems like they just continue to reload at running back. I mean, last year, between number 23 and number 5. Number 5's now playing at King's College. They've got great running backs to come through that system, and it's always nice, when you have an offense that can spread the ball out and throw it, it tends to open things up for the run game, so we definitely have to be aware of Giovanni.
Your defense has been playing so well, so this will be a major challenge.
Yeah, great test for us, and once again, our secondary still has something to prove. Our defense, or our front 7 has to continue to play lights out. They have to continue to keep quarterbacks in check in the pocket, and this will be a great test for that. But, for our secondary, it's our greatest challenge probably since a team like Hazleton with another Division I prospect at quarterback and being able to get the ball downfield. And so, we know that we have our hands full tonight, but our secondary has had a great week of preparation. I think they've taken their preparation very seriously. So tonight just has to be great communication between each other, not letting receivers get over top of us, keeping everything underneath, and try to make Williams check the ball down and beat us that way.
Well, up next, CJ will tell us about the Williamsport defense. You're listening to the CJ Curry Show here on Goat Rocks, PA.
Planning for the future doesn't have to be complicated. Attorney Nick Lutz of Cardinal Estate Planning in Berwick will guide you every step of the way. Whether it's protecting your assets, setting up a trust, or ensuring your family is cared for, Cardinal Estate Planning provides personalized solutions for you and your family's needs. Call or sign up on their website to attend a free educational workshop that will give you an understanding of the process and peace of mind knowing your legacy is in good hands. Visit them online at cardinalastate.planning.com. Let them help you plan for tomorrow today.
Hey, hometown fans. You know Journey Bank as your trusted local bank. But did you know we're also the biggest cheerleader for our community's youth? From athletes competing under the Friday night lights, to students excelling in the classroom, to talented teen stars singing center stage, we're investing in the future of our young people. At Journey Bank, we're committed to helping our kids score big in every aspect of life. Journey Bank, where dreams are nurtured and futures are built. Journey Bank, proud supporter of our local youth.
Are your appliances feeling a little bit outdated? You're looking for the best deals in town? Well, look no further than Flick Brothers Electric, your go-to family-owned appliance paradise. Flick Brothers Electric has all the top-notch name-brand appliances you could ever dream of. Washers, dryers, refrigerators, dishwashers, microwaves, stoves. They even give free estimates on Fujitsu ductless air conditioner heat pump units. Flick Brothers Electric on Maple Lane, keeping Bloomsburg cool, clean, and cooking for over 65 years. Call them at 570-784-3444.
Now, back to the CJ Curry Show on the Goat Rocks, PA.
Tonight's game against a 4-3 Williamsport team is the Bulldogs' next to last regular season home game of the season. But if the Dogs keep winning and maintain the top seed for the District 2 AAA playoffs, they could play as many as 3 postseason games here at Crispin Field. CJ, Mike Pearson describes his team's base defense as a 3-5. Has your team faced anything like that previously this season?
Not really, Jim, but I think that really what that's going to turn into against us is a 5-3. So they're going to take both of those outside linebackers and walk them down to the line of scrimmage and have it look like a 5-man front, an odd front with 3 linebackers. That's similar how they played Shamokin last week. We saw them run a 5-2 in a couple games before. We saw them run a 6-2 against Selinsgrove. So we anticipate them trying to keep 10, possibly 11 guys in the box and try to stop the run. And so it's going to be a battle in the trenches once again this week, and our offensive line, they're up to the challenge. I think that we'll see any variation of that 3-5 to make it a 5-3, 5-2, 6-2. So we've been preparing for all 3 of those fronts this week.
Well, 2 of those linebackers they have are very, very good. They really are high on Anthony Manley, number 34, who led the team in tackles last year as a sophomore. Also number 19, Lucas Naughton. They're both juniors. How good are they?
Yeah, very good players, Jim. And, Anthony Manley's one that sticks out on tape. You just see him out there. He's 6'2", 250, and he comes downhill. So, they have some blitz packages in with those 2 specifically. And so very capable, very physical football players. And we have to know, we have to get a hat on a hat, and we just have to play the type of football that we've been playing. But, very good defensive line, big defensive line. I think, one of the unsung heroes of this team is a two-way starter in Cordoza Minor. He's 6'5", he's 240. He's very athletic on the defensive line. He breaks, he gets through, wins in one-on-one situations all the time, and he's probably one of the better offensive linemen as well. So another guy that we have to take care of. And then, you have a 355-pound nose tackle that just clogs up holes. And so we have our work cut out for us on the offensive line with our tight ends and fullbacks, but we just have to keep being who we are and just keep wearing them down.
Last year, when you played Williamsport, Ty Wilkerson had his school record, 366 yards. So how do you expect them to defend him?
Yeah, I think that they're going to do what all the other teams have done, and that's try to pack the box and try to contain him. Once Ty gets through to that second level, it's difficult to stop him. But, he understands that challenge, and he's rose to that occasion this week and the way that he's prepared and played. And, we know that they're going to come in and they're going to give us their best shot. They didn't like us breaking that record on their field and us upsetting them last year. 76% of Northeastern Pennsylvania picked them to win this game last year, and our guys understood that going into it. And so, as they might come in as the underdogs now, we know they're 0-0 this week. We're 0-0. It's our homecoming. And we have to come out and we have to play fast, physical, relentless football for 48 minutes and try to at least be in the game. Whether we win by 1 or whether you win by 4, it's important at this point in the season. Got to keep putting a better product on the field, and our goal is to go 1-0.
CJ, thanks again for your time. Good luck in going after number 8.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Listen for another CJ Curry Show next Friday prior to the game against Selinsgrove here at Crispin Field. Stay tuned now for Williamsport at Berwick football here on Goat Rocks, PA.